Hello everyone, my name is Brant Burns and I'm here today to talk to you about a highly debated topic, abortion. The CDC in their most recent report stated that there was 652,639 abortions in the US. This statistic really blew my mind. I never would have thought it was going to be that high. So the reason I chose this topic is because of how highly debated it is in our world, and I've came across this topic many times in my school experience. The views that most people take on abortion can be grouped into about 3 different categories, and these categories are presented very well by Norman Geisler in his book Christian Ethics. So he states that the first view that most people's viewpoints fall under is that the fetus is fully human and under no circumstance should the child be aborted. The second that he presents is that the fetus is potentially a human and under certain circumstances abortion can be okay. And then the third that he presents is that the fetus is subhuman and the fetus has no rights, the mother has all the rights, she can abort if she wishes. So my standpoint on this issue is not really picking one of those viewpoints. My view on this is that the increased use and avid use of contraception and abstinence will lead to a drastic decrease in abortions. There's so many options out there that I feel like it's a much easier option than having to even get to that point where you have to choose whether or not it's okay or not. So I'm going to go back to and speak a little bit more on the views that he says that most people fall under. So the view that the fetus is fully human, the fetus and the mother have equal rights. This view really puts its standpoint is basically on sanctity of life, and that the child at conception is a separate human. Its DNA is formed right then when the sperm unites with the egg. That fetus is its own human. They use the passage from Psalms 139:13 that states that the unborn are formed by God. So there's under no circumstance should this child be aborted. So the second view is that the child is potentially human. So the abortion under this view is permitted in certain circumstances. It's really around the emergence of life. They have kind of equal rights, but if the mother is at a risk of death due to the child, then under that circumstance it would be okay to abort. And then the last view that he presents is that the fetus is subhuman and the mother basically has all the rights in the world to end that child's life. It's based on the quality of life of the mother, and the fetus is basically an extension of the mother's body, so she can choose what she wishes to do with that child. So again, I think that there's so many options out there of ways to prevent unwanted pregnancies that we shouldn't even be having to get to this argument, and it shouldn't be that massive of a debate with how many options there are out there. So that's what I'm going to do now, is I'm going to present some of those options that are fairly easy and give some information on those. So the first options I'm going to present are the hormonal methods. There's a patch that you can use that can be placed on your stomach, arm, legs. So you're going to be applying that weekly for 3 weeks, and then on that 4th week you'll take basically a holiday from the patch. And so this method is going to be 91% effective, and it basically just alters the hormones in your body, releases progestin and estrogen. So progestin it'll thicken the cervical mucus and it'll prevent an egg from being dropped down. The second is birth control. Most everybody's heard about it. You take it daily. It's also 91% effective. So then an intrauterine device is also a hormonal method, but it's also a barrier method because it basically blocks the normal flow of semen, and it also works on the hormones just like the other hormone methods do. This method is 99% effective, so it's a good option. Also, a fairly newer option is the implant, where the female will go to a clinic and they'll put in this little match size rod into their arm, and it lasts for 4 years, and it releases the same hormones. Relatively painless. They'll just put some anesthetic in your arm and implant it there, and it'll be there for 4 years. You don't have to worry about any pregnancies. It's 99% effective. Probably one of the bigger ones that most people know about is the barrier method, condoms. It's a very easy method. They're cheap. It also prevents you from STDs, and you can partner this with any of the other methods, and more contraception is just going to improve your chances of unwanted pregnancies. So there's also other methods that are, if you're trying to save some money and you can't really afford the other methods, the fertility awareness methods. The first one is the temperature awareness method. So during your menstrual cycle, usually your temperature is around 96 to 98 degrees. And then during ovulation, your temperature will increase to around 97 to 99 degrees Fahrenheit. So you'll just want to take your temperature every day and keep a little chart. And then when you see that temperature start to rise, you'll want to either start a different type of contraceptive, like a condom or birth control, most likely a condom, and then you'll just abstain from sex for that amount of time. And then the second method is the mucus method, and this is basically just where the female will check her vaginal discharge, which is usually slimy and cloudy, and then during ovulation it's going to be more of a clear and slimy substance. So when this is occurring, you'll want to, just like the other one, you'll want to add more than likely a condom or abstain during this time. So in conclusion, the three main points that most people's views fall under is that the fetus is fully human and that it has all the rights equal to the mother, so there's no point or there's no option of abortion. And then the second that most people fall under is that it is a potential human, and the mother, they both still have equal rights, but if the mother is under emergent situation where she could lose her life due to the child, then it is okay in those circumstances. And then the last is that it's subhuman, and the mother has all the right in the world to abort the child because it is basically an extension of her body. So I feel that if birth control and abstinence are more greatly used in the world today, we could drastically reduce the number of abortions that we have. So I hope that each and every one of us, as we go out today, we all have the responsibility to help reduce that vast amount of abortions yearly.